As you can see, we have had our eye on you for some time now, Mr. Reeves, and it appears as though you have been living two lives. In one life, you are the average respected Canadian-American actor known as Keanu Charles Reeves, where you pay your bills on time and you help your landlady remove her trash, and you even donate the majority of your salary to charity. How noble of you, Mr. Reeves. And in the other life, you go by a various array of aliases, most notably Neo, the computer hacker, aka Mr. Anderson, or Jack Travin, or Johnny Mnemonic, or John Wick, or any other Johns you so choose to call yourself. But Mr. Reeves, it is these aliases that bring us here today, as you have awakened FPS in 60 seconds to come out of hibernation and review and list my top 10 favorite personal movies and roles of the one and only breathtaking Keanu Reeves. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am Odin Sways. This is FPS in 60 seconds top 10 review. And what else am I going to say? Thank you very much for indulging me on that. But yeah, we're here to discuss the most breathtaking Canadian to date. This is the Keanu-sance we have been waiting for. So what are we waiting for? Let's dive right into my top 10 personal favorite Keanu Reeves movies of all time, shall we? Let's hit number 10. And number 10 goes to Hardball. This under-the-radar movie stars Keanu Reeves teaching a bunch of underprivileged children how to deal with life and play softball at the same time. This is an excellent dramatic role for Keanu Reeves, and even the children do a phenomenal job of acting in this movie. It is gut-wrenching, it is heartbreaking, it is just emotional from both ends of the spectrum. You're going to happy cry, and you are going to ugly sad cry like there is no tomorrow. So bring some tissues and bring a friend's shoulder to cry on, because Hardball is absolutely worth your time. Go check it out. That's why it gets number 10. That brings us to number 9. And number 9 goes to The Devil's Advocate. That's right, this little movie right here is so good I own it twice. And if you haven't seen it yet, let me know and I will send you a copy. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this movie is not only amazing because Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves just tear up the scene in this courtroom drama, but if it wasn't for Keanu Reeves taking a pay cut, they never would have been able to afford Al Pacino, and we never would have gotten the masterpiece that is The Devil's Advocate. Alright, at number 8, we are cruising on through this list because number 8 goes to Speed. That's right, Jack Travin teams up with Sandra Bullock to take down Dennis Hopper one last time in this thrill ride. And coming in at number 7 is John Wick Chapter 2. That's right, Chapter 2 for the John Wick series comes in at number 7. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are one away from my top 5 Keanu Reeves movies of all time, which means my number 6 goes to this under-the-radar movie of Street Kings. If you have not seen Street Kings yet, I highly recommend the moment this video stops, you go check it out. This down-to-earth, gritty cop drama with Keanu Reeves, Forrest Whitaker, and Hugh Laurie is absolutely gut-wrenching. We are halfway through my list, which means we are at number 5, and number 5 goes to John Constantine. That's right, this comic book adaptation is another genre role for Keanu, and it hits number 5 because I absolutely love the world that they have created in this movie. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so number 4 goes to John Wick, the first chapter, and it gets number 4 because it was such a refreshing take on the action genre to finally step away from the Taken choppiness to jump a fence or the Jason Bourne shaky cam so you don't see exactly what's going on. I love that this series and this movie started the concept of let's take that camera, pull it back, and just give really smooth action so you can see every punch and every kick and every neck snap and bullet and reload. They actually care about reloading. I love it when a movie goes, okay, no, we took 7 shots, he's got 3 more, let's change the clip and let's roll. There's so much time spent on reloading, and I love that about this movie. They don't just waste bullets and go ridiculous. It's still grounded, even though it is just mythical. And I love Keanu Reeves in this movie. And I don't know him a minute on every one of these movies, so at the risk of doing that, I'm just going to say that John Wick is absolutely amazing. If you love Keanu, if you love action, if you have someone lived on a rock and not watched John Wick, go watch it as soon as I stop talking about this list. I know I said there's a bunch of these. Just go watch this whole list, okay? But start with John Wick, Chapter 1. And that's why it's at number 4. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 3 is A Scanner Darkly. This amazing drama, written and directed by Richard Linklater, is absolutely groundbreaking. The fact that they shot real live actors and then digitized over them to give this acid, trippy type of feel in this mystery movie is just stunning. Keanu Reeves, Woody Harrelson, Iron Man himself, Robert Downey Jr., and Mrs. Stranger Things, Winona Ryder, all give fantastic performances in this mind trip of a movie. Again, make sure you bring some tissues, because it's a bit of a tearjerker and a heartbreaker, but check out Scanner Darkly. It is phenomenal and very undersung. So check it out. It's why it's my number 3. I've seen it way too many times. Which brings us to number 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the number 2 all-time favorite Keanu Reeves movie of all time, which happens to be my 60-second review as well, which is John Wick Chapter 3 is one of the most breathtaking, jaw-breakingly beautiful films I've ever seen. This movie doesn't waste any time getting into the action, getting into the story, and it really takes the essence and the heart of number 1 and it expands upon it because it has this unholy budget and it utilizes it perfectly. Like I said, the cinematography in this style of action where it just shows you everything is amazing, because when they're throwing all this stuff at you with hand-to-hand, knife combat, gun combat, it is really nice and refreshing to see all this. And I love that they pay attention to the amount of bullets in every clip and every gun fired with all the reloading. I love that dogs get revenge in this movie, but I will warn you folks, there are a couple dog deaths in this movie. So if you weren't a fan of that in the first movie, just be warned, there is that. But Halle Berry and these dogs get revenge amazingly so, and the choreography with these dogs is fantastic and fun. Like I said, the world that they build upon, the new characters they bring in, the adjudicator for one was a really nice element. The fact that Lance Reddick gets a lot more meat to chew on in this movie is phenomenal for me. I love him. Jason Mantzoukas having a cameo is fantastic. The score is amazing, and all of this ties up into a really nice package that leads me to give John Wick Chapter 3 a 9.875 out of 10 holy hand grenades. It's damn near perfect. There's like 2 things I could pick apart, but I don't want to mention them because I don't want you to notice them. If you don't notice them, that's awesome. But I absolutely love this movie, and I believe it's still in theaters, so you should go check it out if you haven't seen it. It is just, it's breathtaking, and there's no other word for it. So John Wick Chapter 3, you get 9.875 and come in at number 2 on my top 10 list. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so that means our number 1, my number 1 all-time favorite Keanu Reeves movie of all time is none other than The Matrix. Of course, how could there be any other one than the one, Neo, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Matrix himself. I guess I should go into a little bit more detail here because I just learned recently that there's a whole generation of you out there that don't know who Sean Connery is. So I guess I shouldn't assume that everybody has seen and knows about The Matrix. So for those of you who have seen it, sorry to beat this horse to death, but for those of you who haven't, you need to know that The Matrix is a groundbreaking, revolutionary action movie. It's the first time we've seen bullet time on film, and it's inspired a lot of wire work fighting like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or anything that has that type of floating fighting has come from The Matrix. Also, we would not have gotten John Wick without The Matrix, because the entire team, well, not the entire team, but a lot of the team that is running the choreography and fighting of The Matrix is working in John Wick. So because of this movie, we have so much amazing action today. Plus you got Lawrence Fishburne just being a total badass, you got Carrie-Anne Moss being a badass, and you got Joey Pantoliano in the iconic role of Cypher. Plus, I mean, everybody else in this movie is fantastic as well, of course, but say about The Matrix. It's absolutely breathtaking, and that's all that I have to say. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1 goes to The Matrix. So let's do a little recap here, shall we? Number 10 went to Hardball. Number 9 went to The Devil's Advocate. Number 8 is Speed. Number 7 goes to John Wick Chapter 2. Number 6 is Street Kings. Number 5 is Constantine. Number 4 goes to John Wick Chapter 1. Number 3 goes to A Scanner Darkly. John Wick Chapter 3 pulls in at number 2. And of course, The Matrix rounds out at number 1 for my all-time favorite Keanu Reeves movie. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that you are breathtaking. Go out in the world and be excellent to each other. And we'll catch you on the next reel. Later days.